So you want to get 1 million streams on Spotify? Well, guess what? That's not a crazy far out goal. There's actually a few simple things that any independent artist can do to get 1 million streams on Spotify without paying for them. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in today's video. In today's video, I'm going to give you 3 tips to help you get 1 million streams on Spotify. So first of all, you have to have good music that people want to listen to, obviously. Once you have that, it's simply a matter of getting it in front of the right audience that's going to enjoy it. So that's the focus of today's video. Getting your music in front of the right audiences so you can get more streams on Spotify. The first tip is all about playlists. You need to create your own and you need to get on other people's playlists. One of the fastest and easiest ways to get a huge spike in streams on Spotify is by getting featured on already established playlists. Unfortunately, it can be pretty time consuming to find and connect with people that have large Spotify playlists that would be interested in featuring your music. However, there are some websites that make it super easy to submit your music. And if they like it, you could be featured on huge playlists that will get you tons of streams and tons of new followers. There's a list of these sites on the Jammob website at jammob.com/curators. I'll post a link to that page in the video description. These sites are all free to submit to, and it only takes a few minutes, so there's no reason at all not to give it a try. Worst case scenario, nothing happens. But the upside is huge. If your music does end up getting featured on a major playlist with a lot of followers, you could end up with a lot of new fans and followers on Spotify. It could be a really great catalyst to propel you towards a very successful music career very quickly. In addition to submitting your music to already established playlists, you should also create your own. Sure, you want to create a playlist of your music for your fans, but you should also create a compilation playlist of various artists that are popular in your genre. It'll be a lot easier for a playlist full of hit songs to get traction than a playlist full of songs that nobody's really heard before. Most people want to hear the songs that they already know and love. That's just the way it is. So create a playlist of songs that are popular and insert a few of your own tracks. It's a great way to get your music heard by a new audience of fans that like similar music. Come up with a good name that accurately describes the playlist, like Top 50 Alternative or Chill Electronic Vibes or whatever best describes the style of music on the playlist. And be sure to update the playlist regularly so it doesn't get old and stale. If you're updating it once a week or so, the people that are listening to it won't get tired of it as quickly, which means you retain active listeners and ultimately have more people listening to your playlist at any given time. After you build up a decent sized following on your playlist, you can then reach out to other artists and get on their playlists. Which brings me to tip number 2. Network with similar artists. If you're not very social and you're kind of uncomfortable meeting new people in person, don't worry. This can all be done online. There are a lot of benefits to meeting other artists in your genre, but in the context of getting to 1 million streams, you really want to connect with artists in your genre that are about at the same level as you, that also have Spotify playlists. That way you can swap. Put their music on your playlist, and they put your music on their playlist. You can get a lot of great exposure by just getting on one new playlist. But imagine if you can connect with 10 or 20 artists in your genre and do a swap like this. That's a lot of new exposure to new audiences. Another way to really get a lot of exposure is to get your music featured on Spotify's new music playlist that has about 3 million followers at the time of this video. And that brings us to the third and final tip of the video: release on Friday and push hard over the weekend. If you release your music on Friday, you'll have a better shot of being featured on the new Music Friday playlist. It's a crapshoot, but definitely a lot of upside if you make it. More importantly, you really want to push your new tracks hard for the first 2 or 3 days after you release them. If your new music is getting a lot of streams very quickly within the first day or 2 of its release, Spotify's algorithm notices, and at a certain point, Spotify will start helping to push your music out to people that might like it. In order to get as many streams as you can on Spotify, you really want to push it hard yourself. You want to post a link on all the social platforms that you're active on, and not just once. I would suggest 2 or 3 times a day, if not more. Keep in mind that the vast majority of people that follow you don't actually see most of your posts, so posting frequently isn't going to bother people as much as you might think, especially if you already have a large following. And be sure to send out emails to your fans. Send out an email every day about your new release for at least the first 2 or 3 days. If you don't want to bombard your fans with emails after they've already listened to the track, you can always set up your autoresponder to only send out emails to people that haven't opened your previous emails, or that haven't clicked the link in the email to go to your song on Spotify. Sharing with your email list is absolutely going to be one of the most effective ways to get people to listen to your new tracks on Spotify. First of all, just like with all your social followings, these are people that already enjoy your music and want to hear from you. And unlike social media, when you send out an email to your list of fans, the majority of those fans will actually see the email, which makes sending emails a lot more effective than posting on social media. And because these are people that already enjoy your music, they're probably going to listen to the new tracks all the way to the end. And that looks really good to Spotify. If a lot of people are dropping off before the song's over, Spotify will assume people don't like your music and it won't get pushed by their algorithm. On the other hand, Spotify loves it when people come to their site or their app through a link to your music. Spotify is going to reward you big time if you're the one sending people to their site. They're a big company that wants to make money. So it's great if they push your song to people that are already on the site or their app. But if you're actually sending people to Spotify that weren't already on the app, you're going to get a lot of brownie points and your music will get pushed more. So self-promotion is very important, and the best way to do that is through email. The bigger your email list is, the more people you can send to Spotify, which in turn makes it more likely that Spotify will start pushing your music to new listeners. An email list of fans is easily one of the most powerful tools that you can use to get 1 million streams on Spotify. So if you don't have an email list of fans yet, or you have one but you'd like to learn how to better use it to get more fans, more exposure, and more streams on Spotify, be sure to click the link in the description of this video and grab your free copy of the Music Promotion Blueprint, which will teach you about how you can use email marketing to rapidly accelerate your success in the music industry. So remember, the 3 tips to get 1 million streams on Spotify are: number 1, get on playlists. Submit your music to sites that curate Spotify playlists and create your own playlist. Then once your own playlists have a decent following, you can get on other artists' playlists, which requires tip number 2, network with similar artists. Find artists similar to you, similar genre, similar number of followers, and that way you can help promote one another. And finally, tip number 3, release new music on Friday and push hard over the weekend. By releasing your music on Friday, you increase your odds of getting featured on the New Music Friday playlist, which currently has almost 3 million followers. And by pushing your music hard and doing a lot of self-promotion for the first 2 or 3 days after you release a new track, Spotify's algorithm takes notice, and you increase your chances that Spotify will start pushing your music for you. So those are the 3 tips to get 1 million followers on Spotify. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. And if you aren't already subscribed to this channel, but you want more tips to help you succeed in the music industry, please click the subscribe button now and tick the little bell icon to be notified when future videos are released. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.